A man with 1,000 responsibilities and not a single person to call family. That was the life he built after losing the woman he once loved more than air, but all of that changed on a quiet, rainy morning inside a small cafe in Brooklyn. He was reviewing business reports when the door opened, and a small girl with curly brown hair ran inside laughing, droplets of rain sparkling off her jacket. Behind her walked the woman Adrian had spent 4 years trying to forget, his ex-wife, Zoe. He froze. Because the little girl had Zoe's smile and Adrian's eyes, his heart stopped, his world tilted, and everything he thought he knew about the past 4 years came crashing down in a single heartbeat. This was just the beginning. Zoe Taylor never wanted a life of luxury. She wanted a home filled with laughter, late-night conversations, and a future built with the man she had loved since college, Adrian Hale. Back when he was just a dreamer with ambition bigger than their apartment, she believed they could conquer anything together, but success changes people. Or maybe the pressure exposes the cracks already there. Adrian climbed the business world with ruthless focus. He worked endless nights, traveled constantly, and made decisions that shaped industries. But one decision shaped something far more fragile: their marriage. Arguments replaced kisses. Silence replaced comfort. Zoe felt like she was losing him to the world. Adrian felt like he was fighting alone to secure their future. Then came the night everything shattered. A misunderstanding. A harsh word. A slammed door, and suddenly, the love story that once moved mountains collapsed. The divorce papers felt like knives. They signed, they separated, and they became strangers. What Adrian never knew was that Zoe was carrying something inside her, something that had his heartbeat, his smile, his blood. A child she learned about too late, and kept from him out of fear he'd see her as a burden rather than a blessing. Zoe's life after the divorce was nothing like the glamorous world she'd left behind. She lived in a small apartment, worked 2 jobs, and raised her daughter, Lila, with every ounce of love she had left. Money was short, sleep was rare, but happiness glowed every time Lila giggled, wrapped her tiny arms around Zoe, and said, "Mommy, you're my whole world." Zoe carried guilt every day, guilt for hiding Lila's father from her, guilt for believing Adrian wouldn't want them, guilt for remembering the man he used to be, and fearing the man he had become. Despite everything, she hoped one day her daughter would have the family she deserved. She just never expected fate to decide for her. On a rainy morning, Zoe entered a cafe with Lila, hoping for a warm breakfast before preschool. She didn't see him at first, but Adrian saw her immediately. He saw the familiar curve of her shoulders, the gentle way she brushed rain from Lila's curls, the soft smile he had traced 1,000 times with his fingertips when they were still in love. His breath vanished, his hands shook, his soul recognized them before his mind did. When Lila turned toward him, he froze, because the child staring back at him had his same hazel eyes, warm, sharp, unmistakable. His heart cracked open. That wasn't coincidence, that wasn't imagination, that wasn't possible, unless Zoe had hidden something monumental from him. Lila tugged on Zoe's coat. "Mommy, that man is staring at us." Zoe turned, slow, hesitant, and her world stopped. Adrian, here, looking at her like she was a ghost he had mourned for years. Her heart raced, her knees trembled. For 4 years, she had imagined this moment, feared it, avoided it. Adrian stood, breath unsteady. "Zoe," he whispered. Her name sounded like a prayer, or a wound. Then his eyes drifted to Lila. "Who is she?" Zoe's lips parted, but no sound came out. Adrian stepped closer, voice shaking. "Zoe, is she?" Zoe closed her eyes. A tear escaped. "Yes," she whispered, "she's yours." The cafe fell silent. Adrian staggered back as if struck. 4 years. 4 years he had a daughter he never knew existed. His voice cracked. "Why didn't you tell me?" Zoe trembled. "Because I didn't think you'd choose us over your empire." Adrian felt anger. Not at Zoe. At himself, for the nights he wasn't there, for the first steps he missed, for the birthdays that happened without him knowing. When he knelt down, Lila stared at him curiously. "Hi," he whispered. Lila tilted her head. "You look like me." Adrian laughed, a broken, emotional sound. "I think it's the other way around." She giggled. Zoe watched them, her heart twisting painfully. She saw the softness in Adrian's eyes, the love he couldn't hide even if he tried. Then Lila reached out and placed her tiny hand on Adrian's cheek. "Are you my daddy?" Adrian broke, tears fell, unstoppable. "Yes," he whispered, "if you'll have me." Lila smiled, I like you. Something inside him finally healed, something inside Zoe finally cracked open. Adrian didn't leave the cafe that he sat with them for hours. They talked, they cried, they relived the pain, and slowly rewrote their story. Adrian apologized, not with money, not with promises, but with vulnerability Zoe had longed for years ago. I built an empire, he whispered, but the only thing I ever needed was sitting across from me all along. Zoe wiped a tear. Adrian, I don't know if we can fix everything. Then let me try, he said, for her. For you. For us. For weeks after, Adrian worked to earn Lila's trust, bedtime stories, park visits, late-night talks, then slowly, carefully, he reached for Zoe's heart too. Some nights they sat on the couch, watching Lila sleep, their shoulders touching, and just like that, the love they once lost began to bloom again. Maya stood in the middle of Daniel's penthouse living room, her breath shaking as she held the manila envelope in her trembling hands. Outside, the city lights flickered like restless stars, but inside the room, everything felt suffocatingly still. Daniel approached slowly, cautiously, as if one wrong move would send her running again. Maya, please, he whispered. Just let me explain. But Maya couldn't look at him, not after what she had seen, not after what she had learned. Inside the envelope was a truth she never expected to confront. Daniel had known about Lily long before their accidental reunion at the cafe, not 4 months, not a year, but 3 whole years that he had found out through a medical board document when Lily received a minor surgery and Maya's name appeared. Same city, same last name she once shared with him. That was when he started searching, quietly, secretly, without ever reaching out. You watched from a distance? Maya choked out, her voice cracking. You knew I was struggling. You knew I was raising our daughter alone. Why didn't you come? Daniel's face fell, his expression twisting in guilt. I wasn't watching you like some stranger, he said softly. I was afraid, terrified, that you had moved on, that you didn't want me in your life. Maya's laugh was bitter. So instead, you what? Followed us quietly, showed up in places we were. You stood in the shadows while I worked 2 jobs, while I cried alone at night, while Lily asked why she didn't have a father. Each word struck Daniel like a blade. That he stepped closer, his voice trembling. Should have come sooner. I know. I was a coward. But when I saw how happy she looked with you, I thought I had lost the right. Maya finally looked up, her eyes burning with pain. You didn't lose the right, Daniel. You left it. You left us. The silence that followed was crushing. Daniel fell to his knees in front of her, something Maya never imagined he was capable of. Maya, please, he whispered. Don't take her away from me. Don't take you away from me. I want to fix what I broke. She stared at him, her heart warring between the pain of the past and the possibility of something new, but one truth lingered above all others. Trust, once broken, does not return easily. And as tears rolled down her cheeks, Maya realized this moment, the moment she forgave or walked away, would change all of their lives forever. The next evening, the sky was painted in hues of rose and gold as Maya walked Lily to the seaside promenade. She needed clarity. Space. Time to think without Daniel's desperate eyes clouding her thoughts. Lily skipped ahead, collecting seashells, her innocence glowing like a soft lantern in the dimming daylight. Maya watched her daughter and whispered into the wind, what do I do, baby? How do I protect you, and my own heart? Suddenly, she heard hurried footsteps behind her. She turned. It was Daniel, not in a suit. Not polished, just a man, broken, breathless, terrified of losing the only family he ever truly wanted. Maya, he gasped, stopping in front of her, I should have told you everything earlier. I should have fought for you back then, but I'm fighting now. Before Maya could respond, Lily ran toward them, holding a seashell in her tiny hands. Mommy. Look at this one. Oh. Daddy? Daniel dropped to one knee, not out of desperation this time, but out of love. He held Lily's hand softly, looking into her curious eyes. There's something I want to ask you, Lily, he said with a warm tremor in his voice. I know I wasn't there when you were little, but if you'll let me, I want to be in your life now. Not just sometimes, always. Lily blinked, then whispered the words that shattered Maya's heart in the gentlest way possible. "So, you're really my dad? For real?" Daniel nodded, tears forming. "If you'll have me." Lily smiled, the smile of a child who had been waiting years for this moment. She threw her arms around his neck. "I always wanted a dad." And as Daniel held her, his body trembling with sobs he had kept buried for years, Maya felt something shift inside her. Not forgiveness, not yet, but something close, something hopeful, something healing. Daniel rose slowly, standing before Maya with Lily still in his arms. "Maya, I can't change the past. But I promise you this, I will spend every day proving I deserve a place in your lives. You don't have to give me your heart again today, but please let me try." Maya looked at them, the man she once loved and the daughter they created together. The ocean breeze brushed against her hair, carrying away years of silence, resentment, and old wounds. Her voice was soft, trembling. "I don't know where this will lead, Daniel. But I'm willing to try. For Lily's sake. And maybe for mine too." Daniel exhaled shakily, relief flooding his face. "Trying is all I'm asking for." As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, the three stood together, no longer shattered pieces but the beginning of a mended family. It wasn't a perfect ending, not yet, but it was real. It was raw, and it was enough to break millions of hearts who believed love didn't deserve second chances. The cafe had fallen quiet, not because something was wrong, but because everyone could feel something happening, something raw and human. As Evelyn stood there, trembling, her palms sweaty, her breath shaky, she could barely process the storm unraveling around her. Across from her, Adrian stood frozen, her billionaire ex-husband, the man she hadn't seen properly in 4 years, the man she once loved more than life itself, the man she thought she had lost forever. And then, a soft voice pierced the air. "Mommy, is he the man from the picture in your box?" Lila, her daughter, her secret, the reason she had survived. The cafe went still. Even the barista stopped mid-pour. Adrian's eyes widened, color draining from his face as he crouched down slowly, almost terrified of the truth. "A picture," he whispered. "Evelyn, why would she have a picture of me?" Evelyn felt her throat close. She wanted to run, like she always had, but her legs wouldn't move. Lila continued innocently, "The one where mommy cries sometimes. She says she misses how happy she looked." Evelyn felt tears burn her eyes. Adrian's voice cracked. "Evelyn, why didn't you tell me?" When she finally exhaled, it came out like a confession she had been burying for years. "Because I didn't want to ruin your life again." Adrian took one slow step closer. Then another. His eyes glistened with something she had never seen on him back then. "Vulnerability, ruin my life," he breathed. "Evelyn, you were the only thing that ever made sense in it." Her chest tightened painfully. He gently touched Lila's hair, his hand shaking. "Is she?" Evelyn nodded. Adrian broke. He covered his mouth, collapsing into the chair behind him as tears spilled down his face. A billionaire who owned half the city, crying openly in a tiny cafe for the little girl he never knew he had. The cafe watched. No one moved. Lila tilted her head curiously. "Why are you crying, mister?" Adrian tried to smile but failed miserably. "Because, sweetheart, I never knew I had a reason to live until right now." Evelyn felt her knees weaken. She grabbed the back of a chair to steady herself as Adrian stood again, determination glowing through the heartbreak. "Evelyn, I won't force anything. I won't demand anything. But please, let me be in her life. Even if you never forgive me, don't punish her for my mistakes." Evelyn shook her head, tears falling in streams. "Adrian, I never hated you. I was just broken." He stepped closer, slowly, carefully, like approaching something precious he didn't want to scare away. "Then let me spend the rest of my life fixing what I broke." A long silence hung between them, then Lila grabbed both their hands and innocently pressed them together. "Are you two going to be friends again?" Adrian laughed softly through tears. Evelyn let out a breath that sounded like freedom and pain at once. They looked at each other, really looked, and something long dead flickered back to life. Adrian whispered, "If she wants, maybe more than friends." Evelyn couldn't speak. She didn't need to, her silence was the answer. He wrapped his arms around them both, gently, afraid to wake from a dream, and for the first time in 4 years, Evelyn felt her heart settle in a place it once called home. Around them, the café erupted into soft applause, strangers witnessing a reunion that felt written in the stars. Outside, snow began to fall, quiet, delicate, forgiving. A new beginning. A second chance. A family that never should have broken. As they walked out together, Lila in the middle, holding both their hands, Evelyn looked at Adrian and whispered, "Promise me, no more running?" Adrian squeezed her hand, "Not this time. I'm not losing you again." And somewhere deep inside, for the first time in years, she believed him. The end, but also, the beginning.